This week's video is another gig diary. These are the videos where I try and give you an idea of what it's like to be a musician working in the UK. Now, coming up in this week's video, I throw in a TV theme into one of my solos. I then get asked to play a movie theme. I get an apple thrown at me. One of my daughters takes over the presenting.
We're setting up for gigs for kids.
Another sound checks the mic for me.
Play. 1, 2.
And my eldest daughter sings. So as well as the gig footage, I like to get in a bit of technical nerdery, and I did 4 gigs in 3 days, and in that time I used my Quad Cortex for all 4 gigs, and I used 3 different setups, 3 different presets, 3 different configurations. But the first clip I'm going to show you, I didn't use my Quad Cortex. This was my brand new amplifier. Now, I did a whole video on this brand new amp last week. It's called the Milkman Pedal Steel Mini. So if you want to watch the video of me going to buy the amp and then trying it on the first gig, I'll link to that here. But here's just a little clip from that video of me playing that TV theme as well. Second gig on acoustic guitar using my Quad Cortex, playing in a beer garden in a very nice pub. Now, I use my Quad Cortex on acoustic guitar for absolutely everything. It's replaced my entire pedal board, so I can use it for looping, for a bit of boost, a bit of delay, the octaver for the drum sound, etc. I use it for everything, whereas I used to have a big pedal board. And I've done a video on that as well. I use it in a hybrid mode where I kind of MIDI control itself by looping back the MIDI controller. But if you want to see that setup, I'll link to the video here. So that's what I'm doing in this video. This first clip is a solo I did on Romeo and Juliet by Dire Straits.
You meet me, how about it?
And then I got the strangest request I've ever had on a solo acoustic guitar gig. I got asked to play the James Bond theme. So here we are, here's a little clip of that, and I looped up the chords and then played the riff over it. What did you want? James Bond theme tune. Hang on, let me do this. So next gig, this one I'm actually using the Quad Cortex in the same way as I did on the first gig, but I did have the wah wah on here, so I'm going to show you a little bit of Hendrix on acoustic guitar. This is all on the Watchtower, so have a look at this. And then I was playing away, and all of a sudden an apple came flying over my head from behind me. I assume it was intended to hit me. I think it was from the kind of garage area behind the pub, and there was an apple tree right behind me. Now it doesn't look on the video like it's all that close, but it landed right in front of me. It was only a very small apple, so it was actually much closer than it looks. So I'm going to show you it here at full speed. Keep your eyes peeled. And now I'm going to slow it down and zoom in on the apple. It actually nearly hit the people right at the front of the audience. It was a bit much. The person never came in and owned up or anything, but anyway, it's the first fruit I've had thrown at me for as long as I can remember. So I finished that gig, I had to pack up quickly, and I drove straight to another gig, and the next gig was on electric guitar, and I was doing the PA system and everything, so I had to hurry up and get all that set up. Now, I didn't have room in the car for my normal pedal board, so I used my Quad Cortex on this gig as my electric pedal board into my car amplifier. I also didn't take my brand new amplifier because I had so much stuff in the car. I didn't want to put in my brand new unscuffed amplifier in with all my other gear where it could potentially get a bit beaten up, so I used my usual setup, and I used my James Tyler guitar. Now this solo here, it's a more processed sound than I generally use, but I think it came out quite well, and because it was a bit more dry, it inspired me to do a bit of fast widdly diddly stuff, and it was quite nice because one of the guests at the wedding came up to me in the I think it was the break after the solo, or maybe even the break after that, and told me how much he enjoyed the solo. So it's always nice when somebody notices and comes up and says that. So here we go, here's the solo on Long Train Running. This last gig, this is something a bit different. Many years ago, when my first daughter was born, we used to run a kids group, my wife and I. It was 2 mornings a week. I'd play acoustic guitar and she'd sing all the nursery rhymes, and it was all preschool kids, and it was mainly for the mums really. Anyway, we decided to extend the idea to maybe having a full band playing proper kind of music with party dances, all that kind of thing. And I said I'd do it with her on the one condition that she could prove that she could be on time. Now she's late for everything, and I said to her if she could be on time for every one of the kids groups for a month, then I'd do it with her. And it turned out, guess how many times she was on time for the kids group in that month? 0. So I've refused up to this point to do this gig, but she was completely stuck on this occasion. The person she normally does it with was unavailable, so I relented and said I'd do the gig with her. Now, part of the reason I relented is because my kids join in and it's quite fun to spend the time with them performing. So I'm going to show you some clips from this. Now, this first clip shows my middle daughter. She took the camera and took on the presenting, and she also filmed my youngest daughter sound checking the mic, which I thought was quite cute. So I'll show you that first.
We're setting up for gigs for the kids. Daddy, smile.
We need to sound check the mic. Cass?
Yeah, go Cass. Sound check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Cass, face me. Face me. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Thank you.
Woo! Daddy's happy.
Professional sound checking.
Yeah.
Then there were some party dances, and all 3 of my daughters know these party dances, and they demonstrate them so the audience can pick them up. So here's a little bit of that. If you've seen these videos before, you would have seen my eldest daughter singing, and on this one she sang a song I never heard her sing before. It's one of the Lizzo's latest songs, and there's a kind of rap type bit in it, and she started doing it and I was like, blimey, that's good. So I didn't know she was going to do it, so the camera wasn't on, but as soon as I heard it I pressed the camera on, so there's only a little snippet of the end here, but I thought it was rather good. course, no kids group would be complete without doing We Don't Talk About Bruno from Encanto. So here's my three daughters taking a line each from that song.
He told me my fish would die the next day. Dad! Oh no! He told me I broke up, and just like he said that all I had was everything. Now look at my back. When you said when your prophecy is dead, he told me that the life of my dream will be promised someday be mine.
And finally, I'm going to leave you with this. This is the final Quad Cortex setup of the week. And this was using the Quad Cortex direct into the PA, so no amp. And actually, this is the way, for me, it works best with electric guitar, I found. I prefer it to the in-ears because you've still got some kind of air moving around you. But I think this is a pretty good sound. It was California Girls, I think it is, Katy Perry, and I just did a solo over the middle section. I have to say, the sound I get on this is really quite good. It surprises me every time I hear it. I really like hearing the Quad Cortex through the speakers. So hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave me a comment. I'm bringing out new videos. They come out at 7 PM UK time every Friday. So hopefully I'll see you next week.